One playing on an off position with a lot of kill potential based off the positioning, as well as Sentinels playing due up towards the center. And yes, New Circle's going to pop. Not going to be too far away, but HRN's going to have to make a little bit of a position back over towards the north.
Something else to note from HRN is the fact that they are still using energy more. Part of that original energy squad with Dizzy and Ace. I think it was last week was the first time he got brought in as a sub, so they're continuing with him after pretty solid performance overall, but just see how it'll play out today. Looking for that consistency that he can provide as we jump over with Team Liquid. Shots coming in and out. Trying to use that Thermite, end up going to close the door and use the Wattson to their advantage, trying to give some sort of protection here, using that passive on the ultimate to regen the shields, needing to buy as much time as they can. But absolutely surrounded. It's going to be MVP just on the outside here. And Pow Pow doing a great job, trying to just quick peek on top of that rock to get some high elevation for an angle. And then immediately drop him back down. Just wants information to the best of his ability. But it looks like he's going to rotate back to his team.
One thing to note inside that little bit of a fight that was going on with Team Liquid, did you notice the fact that after taking a couple of hits, retreated back into a corner and then went for the shield cell, knowing the fact that even though people were fighting, that's trust in your team to protect you whenever that's going through. That's something we don't get a chance to talk about a lot, and as far as competitive Apex goes, is sometimes you know you're in a disadvantaged position. And how many times have you been caught in a firefight and you're like, oh my god, my team's fighting, and you break off your health or your shield cell so that way you can go and assist the team. Just having that confidence to go, no, my boy has got it, I'm just going to go ahead and wait this one through, get back to fighting strength, and then come back into it says a lot about the trust that these guys have in each other.
Yeah, I think it's a really big deal, the ability to just engage and kind of way off. I mean, that's the whole reason you pick these team compositions, right? With the legends that you have. Wattson is there to provide a defensive ability. So if people do push, those fences are going to absolutely wreck them. So a lot of throwables happen down here on HRN as they find themselves in a really rough spot. You're going to see more using that phase shift to try to provide some time, I guess, over in general, just to make sure that they can get out of here. But they're absolutely surrounded. You got Ziploc up top. You got TSM to the side as we jump over to Solifide, a team recently promoted back in here to the Alpha Division. A couple shots coming down. Amberlelli and the kill feed as well getting involved. So a lot of action breaking down here in our final 14 squads. Going to see a whole lot of it too in this next circle as it starts to push in just a few seconds. But Solifide doing a great job here on the gatekeep.
We talk about that a lot. Whenever you choose to take those early game skirmishes, sometimes you can find yourself in a disadvantaged position because you're always chasing the circle and somebody could potentially gatekeep you out. Team Liquid is on the receiving end of that right now. As you can see, it looks like the Ring is actually going to take out the Casper right now. That's never a good position to be playing from, but down back below the main part of Thermal, you can see it's going to be HRN. I'm not exactly certain who's up towards the top. I believe that it is Sentinels right now. I doubt that they would have left that positioning, but TSM
Ziploc Bags is top center, actually. Yeah, we
Bags right now.
Yeah, we saw them very briefly from the Spectator. Shoutouts to the Spectator crew here at GLL. You guys crush it every single week. But yeah, top on Lava in the in Thermal Station, where Sentinels played so well. The one that we talked about with TSM and the Kraber earlier on today. Ziploc Bags has that position and are absolutely dominating with it. So, unfortunately for them, they're going to have to rotate out.
Oh, yep. We've seen the circle shift back over towards the southwest. That means a couple of these teams, specifically over towards the north, are going to find themselves in a lot of trouble. This is not an easy area to navigate in the slightest. You can see all these little peak angles that can work with. TSM putting it to great use right now. They still have themselves a nice defended position that is in the safe zone, but they are in the kill funnel. Meanwhile, on the other side of this, MVP trying to take a couple of shots onto this I Am Madness near on no life, trying to get out of the position. Pow Pow is just getting utterly decimated back behind him and does go down. Madness does escape, but he's still going to have to continue on his path towards the safe zone, and there is no easy way to get there right now, as I believe multiple teams are stacked up. NRG now finding themselves in a difficult spot. A couple of shots going to come through and just trying to get away from it. Evans, the last one up, just trying to put in some work. His teammates trying to provide some shields, some type of support for him. Gets off enough damage to at least take down one, but it's not going to be enough in the end.
No, here's the team we're talking about. Ziploc Bags up top, just able to third party this fight. So having that advantage angle, there's so many teams down here below, but good effort by NRG, able to find a lot of shots and damage using the teams as shields, but so much more down here as well. As you see, NRG end up getting one with the bleed out, but it is Ziploc Bags that jump down and get the cleanup. So well played and very decisive, and that's what we want to talk about. The ability for a lot of these teams and fights happening. And towards the tail end, as long as you come in third party and land a couple of your shots, they're already probably at half health. So easy cleanup for them and a great job taking that vantage point and then being decisive to move down and finish it up. MVP here on the tail end, just kind of waiting to see what's happening. Madness was able to back out, and both his teammates were able to get back up as well. So, gonna reap the rewards, and desperately needed here is looting those bodies from energy.
I love to see it. Also, do note the fact that it was MVP that was involved in that fight. iShiny, Muffins, Protectful are the ones that went down. So while they are 5th and 6th respectively, there's an opportunity coming up for them. Solo Fide just continuing up on their rush. You can see that is just an absolute laser beam focus coming in on the control with that push in. Now trying to get a little bit of defensive positioning. You know that this is an ultimate that's used a little bit early. They're not inside the safe zone yet, but they know the fact that they're playing from a disadvantaged position. So trying to be as careful as possible. Taking a couple of shots. It's going to be the aggressors coming in, but quick pickup coming around. Metro's going to retreat back over, but the Ring's going to come in, do a little bit more work, tap them off, and now it's going to be a little bit of a problem as Pride's trying to retreat right along the side of it, but gotta get spotted out the side, and that's going to be them taken down.
You can just see the difficulty. They knew they were at a disadvantage because jumping to fight with Sentinels. Been pretty quiet so far. Shots coming out left and right. You're seeing them go up against CLG Madness up in the screen and drop down as a Pathfinder. So going to be removed for the efforts as Watson here being rewarded. 303 on the outside as well. TSM's old spot. Looks like they've rotated away and been pushed out. So a couple teams stacked up on top of here, but recognizing that a lot of these teams here from the west in the kind of east area, both rotating through, trying to move wherever they can from the north down, but just layering on top of each other, getting gate kept by whoever's just sitting there waiting to prey is, again, 303. Perfect vantage point here.
303 has shown in the past that they can play this position quite well. A lot of these teams are going to have to make their way as the hard shift does shift back over towards the southwest yet again. A double stack like that means that teams that were originally playing towards the edge of the ring, specifically towards the north and the east, are going to find themselves in a lot of trouble. The last remaining member of TSM just looking back, trying to listen in on the footsteps going on around them. You can see we got the x-ray up so you guys can have a little bit of an idea on what's going on. But 303 is still just trying to hold the defensive line. Make sure that nobody can come up back behind them. But the problem with it is 20 seconds, they're going to have to make a move of their own. If they can't finish this fight quickly, they know that they're in some trouble.
A lot of open area they're going to have to push through, as you mentioned. So need to be careful. And a lot of things that these guys have in the mind. And for people asking in chat, this day is super important. Whoever finds themselves in the top 10 overall through all 4 weeks will get themselves a guarantee in the grand finals, while the rest, 11 through 30, have to play in the last chance next week. So again, top 10, super important here today to guarantee yourself into the grand finals and a chance at the $100,000. As MVP peeking left and right, just seeing if you can spot anybody else. Smile on the gatekeep. Knows there's a bubble there. They're going to have to push out here shortly. He does have one sliding right towards them, trying to land those shots with the wingman. Not able to get it, but don't worry. 303 scissors there to get rid of Alberlelli. So a huge pickup here on TSM, as Smile just being the ones bullying 303 now on the rotation.
Nice reposition, trying to get that high ground, looking back in at everybody that's moving. MVP, do you manage to make it inside the safe zone? No shift, goes back down towards the south yet again. Our northern teams are just trying to find some way to move up and forward. MVP is trying to get a couple of taps back over on anybody that peeks through the window, but there's not a lot of options for movement in front of MVP. You can see that there's this open area, 4 teams up and active, still 10 people moving around this tiny bit of circle to work with. So you can see pings coming out now, trying to find which angle to work with. Say maybe they can get a little bit of tap damage over, use that opportunity to make the push back down towards the south, but don't want to make the run and gun option just yet. Hiding out in a sneaky of sneaky spots. I love the rat cam that GLL is providing right now. It's going to be designful, somehow managing to find himself a beautiful position to buy a little bit more space. And at this point, he's just hoping everybody fights and
You know, it's not gentrifying, but it's at least his teammate Amos is having a really big week last week with multiple wins. So a lot of people have their eyes on them, but able to just do whatever they can. Is Yeet Squad getting Bowser dropped down here. He's going to push him through the portal and back inside to go for the revive. For those that do not know that, good mechanic is being able to punch your teammate will actually propel them forward a little bit faster rather than crawling. But again, very difficult spot as we have all these teams. The big one to pay attention to is MVP in those crates. Yes, they have the Watson ultimate up, and you saw how beneficial it was against the Gibraltar ultimate, but a rough rotation for them. They're going to use this portal here from Smile to see if they can take multiple angles.
I love this reposition coming out from Smile. All the aggression is moving back over towards the house. You can see MVP's on one side of the wall. On the other side of it's going to be Smile now. With these repositions now, everybody that's assaulting the house has to be ridiculously careful. Circle's coming in. Grenade's going to land. Petty Boss is going to connect back over towards Vaxilon, but up on top of it's going to be Smile just spraying back down into everything. A lot of control coming back through. New kill leader pops off as well. Smile still sitting on a ton of health and utility to work with. Now moving into the next tiny circle as there are just 2 squads left to work with. but Smile has so much control at this point. Just going to go ahead and continue to rain in throwable damage. Take the spray off to the side. You know that you've got everything to work with. It's going to be Yeet Squad trying to survive this one through, but they're not going to get it. It's all smiles on Smile as they walk away with the round victory.
Just phenomenal play on the back end there. You saw exactly the play that really solidified it. Using that Wraith portal to move and take the wide rotation was absolutely phenomenal. Have the high ground on the rock, able to basically suffocate and funnel everybody into that same spot. And if things got bad, they just rotated back out with the portal, able to take wide ground, and they have zone control on that. So phenomenal play from them towards the end, able to catch it up, and it all comes down. Which team is going to rotate south first? What's going to get that positioning and gatekeep the rest? Because it looked like it was going to be a 3-0-3. But there was yet another team behind them, and it just kept being this domino effect. So really well controlled by Smile. As we take a look at the highlights here in game number 1. Start off with TSM able to take down Anime Girls Uwu. We got a fantastic impression by you. And then from there was kind of just chaos everywhere. We didn't really have any slow moments in this game.
Yeah, I kind of want to hit up the end of the game, so that way whenever you guys see it, you can have an idea on what's going to be coming through. Smile